felt sentimental. For years I always felt I had something wrong.
Hi there. Today we're going to talk about coffee bags. They're not a very new concept. They've been around for, I suppose, at least in some part of the world for almost a decade now. The idea is as simple as a tea bag, but rather than having tea in you put coffee. They are soon to be introduced in our country by a gentleman called Amar Naveed from S Cafe. These are sample coffees. They are pre-production. It's been sent to me to review, to have a look at, to showcase. So let's go ahead and have a look. Okay, so I admit this is far bigger, more than twice the size of an actual tea bag. You obviously need a little bit more coffee to brew a single cup in the morning. The whole thing weighs about 11 grams. If we are to take out the bags, which weighs about 2 grams, then we've got about 9 grams of coffee. 9 grams of coffee is good enough for about 150 grams of water, which is good enough in the morning. Now a little bit about S Cafe. S Cafe is a brand which is importing coffee. It's mainly focusing on blends, and they're supplying these blends all over Pakistan through Daraz and through Uncle Tetsu. These are two of their products. This is 100% Arabica, but it is still a blend. This is a blend of Arabica and Robusta. If you want a little more kick in the morning, this will suit you more. We'll see in the future how this tastes. Now, coffee bags are something very new in Pakistan. This style of coffee bags opens from top, it clings onto your glass, and you can pour water on top of it. As far as my information goes, this originates mainly from Japan. This is a very good substitute to brewing a batch of filter coffee, for example, through a V60 or a Kalita filter. And I have to admit they've done a very good job. Now, this bag is not necessarily aimed at people like us, coffee geeks. This is aimed at a person who is going to work in the morning and he needs a cup of coffee. He can either get it from McDonald's or he can buy a jar of Nescafe Gold and keep it at home, and that's good enough for him. He doesn't need, this is for a kind of person who wants a hassle-free, good cup of coffee in the morning. What they've done is they've taken the concept of drip coffee and sort of transformed it in a bag. Now what happens is that you take out these little prongs. First you tear it off, and these prongs sort of help levitate this bag on top of your mug or jar or whatever you want to use in the morning. Now here is where it sort of differentiates from a V60. Now a V60 lies on top of your decanter or mug. It sort of lies on top of that. You pour your boiling hot water on your coffee bed, it extracts coffee and it settles down in your mug. Whereas over here, this sort of hangs inside your mug. You can call this coffee bag a hybrid brewer or a smart brewer if you want to call it that. What you can do is that you can combine an immersion brew, which is basically a French press, into a percolation method, which is basically your espresso machine or your V60 filter. Now if you want to look at my video on pour over, a link should appear right about now. So we've got both our coffees and let's give it a bit of a taste. Both of these coffees, the drip coffee bag and the pour over, have roughly the same coffee in them. A blend of Robusta and Arabica. So if this bag is any good, this coffee should taste very similar. And I have to admit, it is very hard for me to differentiate between both of these coffees. They're very similar. I have to say that if these coffee bags take off, at least in our country, they're going to revolutionize. They should revolutionize the use of coffee at home. If nothing else, then it is definitely a step forward. Most importantly, I would love to know your thoughts about this experiment that we did. Have you used a bag like this or a bag which is similar to this? Are you a drip coffee person? Do you get fidgety over coffee and where it came from? Or are you the sort of person who likes to drink coffee for the kick, for the kick alone? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear from you guys. A link to all the materials, the coffees, and the tools that I use is given in the description below. For now, thank you very much for watching, and I do hope you have a great day.